Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to on this lovely, blustery, snowy day. Your mileage may vary depending on what part of Ohio you are in. Um, and we're looking forward to introducing you to the Ohio History Service Corps and some of our AmeriCorps members. I believe I'm already sharing my screen. Um, right, so I am Betsy Hedler. I work at the Ohio History Connection, and among other things that I do for the Ohio History Connection, I hang on. I run the Ohio History Service Corps. Sorry, my brain went blank for a moment there. I want to start by warning everyone that this is literally the first time I've ever done a webinar on Teams. So if some of the tech support gets a little wonky, that would be why. So like we're all figuring things out as they happen. Um, I believe so. We both have Q&A and chat available for attendees, and we will figure that out. And we will see those things. I will ask the members who are present to like help me keep an eye on that. And if there are things that you can answer while I'm talking, then we will do that. I'm going to reprise a presentation that I did at the Ohio Local History Alliance meeting this fall that kind of goes through the what is the Ohio History Service Corps? How does this all work? What's the deal? And then we're going to ask the members who are able to be here today to introduce themselves um, and where they're serving, a little what they can help with, that sort of thing, more specifically. And those who were not able to be here, I will kind of give you a little. I'll also introduce where our members are. So let's see if I can do a spotlight. Okay, yes. All right. And also, I should warn you that warn is probably not the correct way to say that. But we are recording this meeting. The recording will be available to you through Teams after the meeting. And what we plan to do for long-term availability is to get that out onto the Ohio Local History Alliance's YouTube channel, so that because Teams recordings, I believe, last for about a month, you should get that pretty quickly. The recording will take a little longer for me to get uploaded to the YouTube because I'm traveling the next 3 days. I should also say this is a great moment to thank the Ohio Local History Alliance for asking us to do this webinar and helping to highlight the Ohio History Service Corps as a resource for their member organizations and other similar organizations throughout Ohio. The Ohio Local History Alliance is a member organization for local history organizations throughout Ohio. Having looked at the attendee list, I know many of your many of you attending your organizations are part of the alliance. But if you are not already a member, please check them out at Ohio OL at their website, ohiolha.org. So OHIOLAHLHA.org. I should type that. Let me put that in the chat because it's Ohio. It is OHIOLHA.org. There you go. I have like a chat thing that I can do um, with that. So we appreciate that. Okay. So the Ohio History Service Corps. What is the Ohio History Service Corps? How does this work? And I do have my PowerPoint on my screen off to this side, so when I look away, that is what I am doing. Um, all right. So the issue that the Ohio History, so you, the Ohio History Service Corps is aimed at addressing is that roughly 60% of local history organizations in Ohio are organizations with operating budgets of under $25,000 a year. This is, in fact, this statistic is based on Ohio Local History Alliance membership data. It may indeed be, the actual percentage may vary. Now, this means that these folks are really passionately involved and interested in preserving their local history, but are generally all volunteer because on a budget of under $25,000, you typically cannot hire people. So there's expertise that the all may need from outside consultants, and yet with such small budgets, one can't necessarily pay for outside consultants. Enter the Ohio History Service Corps. Um, Also, the Ohio History Service Corps, and also we have a member who does who works specifically on historic preservation of buildings. That member role does less outreach, so Allison is not here today. But know that at the City of Cincinnati, she is helping them survey and preserve their buildings. Um, and that form of history preservation. And then there's the Ohio's local history community always needs more volunteers, more people, more training, more resources, and we aim to help provide that. So our two goals as an organization, as a program, are to assist local history organizations to build capacity, um, to take to institute best practices, and I get to what I mean by that in a slightly later slide. And then also to take the first steps in historic preservation planning. Typically, this is our Ohio History Survey, our Ohio Community Surveyors, we call them. We also, our other goal is to help develop history leaders for the future. We have over 130 alumni over our previous 14 program years. We are in year 15 of the program. I don't think we have any alumni in attendance, but we do have alumni out in the local history community in Ohio. I'm not going to start listing them, but please know that I could. Uh, and the organizations at which they are curators or executive directors, et cetera. So we're hoping to bridge that gap between I've just gotten a history degree and I would love but what do I do next, and how do you get that? You can't get hired without experience, but you can't get experience without getting hired. We are hoping to bridge that gap for folks. But I go into that more when we are looking for members in the year. Okay, so we ask our members to build capacity at local history organizations. What is capacity building? So, and this is the AmeriCorps definition. Capacity building is defined as activities that expand an organization's scale, reach, efficiency, or effectiveness. The activities enable organizations to provide more, better, and sustained direct services to their audiences and stakeholders. So generally, capacity building is can be doing the thing, but it is mostly, ideally, it's putting in place structures and processes that will make it easier to do the thing in the future, whatever the thing is. One of the members said to me last year, "Boy, that's going to make everything so much easier for everyone next year." And I was like, "Yes, that's the goal. That's capacity building. That's how does it go? That's going to make things easier for the next person who tries to do this." Um, is the idea. Now, some of this, so it's not so much the actual doing of the thing, but the training and the knowledge, and the helping figure out how to do the thing and putting in place the structures to make that happen. For instance, and I use a conference metaphor because that is a thing that I do. I run the Ohio Local History Alliance's conference, and so for to build to capacity is not so much taking in the paper registration sheets for your upcoming big event and like typing them into the registration spreadsheet, as it is maybe helping you set up a Google Doc that will allow you to have people register themselves online, and going forward you can continue to use that, and training you on how that works, so that you don't have to have a volunteer spending multiple hours typing in things from pieces of paper. For instance, members do a lot of help with collections care and collections management, largely because I tend to think that almost any project that gives you a better sense of what your collection is, what's in it, where all those things are, is inherently capacity building, because until you know what your collections are, you can't move forward with that, right? You can't make an exhibit about your town unless you know what materials you have to help build that exhibit. So capacity building. There are the Ohio History Service Corps is supported by three basic supports, and I love my little stool here with so there's three legs to the stool that is the Ohio History Service Corps. The first of these is AmeriCorps. So we are an AmeriCorps program. This is going to be the many of you are familiar with the AmeriCorps. Some of you have served as AmeriCorps. Folks may have served as AmeriCorps members in the past. It is often called the Domestic Peace Corps. It AmeriCorps is an umbrella that covers national service in general. If you're familiar with the Peace Corps, AmeriCorps is very similar to that, except that members serve and provide help within the United States. There are a wide variety of AmeriCorps programs both across the state and across the country. Members do all kinds of things from environmental preservation, teaching kids to read, addressing food insecurity, helping folks get college and career ready, all sorts of things. And the idea is that AmeriCorps members both benefit from their service and are helping their community. Because we're historians, we're going to go briefly into the history of AmeriCorps. It has a long history and generally has bipartisan support. Dates back all the way to the 1930s when FDR created the Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC. It's now, which is still on some level, which is still in operation. It is now known as the National Civilian Conservation Corps, or the NCCC. That is a residence-based program for young people age, I believe, 18 through 26, and they do primarily environmental stuff. In the 60s, LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, launched Vista. Vista, so you'll have AmeriCorps Vista members. Those folks are typically continue to serve, and they are primarily focused on fighting poverty, as you might imagine, from where they grew out. The National Service Act in 1990 formally launched AmeriCorps, which was the third, in addition to the NCCC and Vista. And in 1993, just 3 years later, the National Community Services Trust Act brought all of these domestic service programs under one roof, or one act, so to speak. The National Community Service Trust Act established the Corporation for National Community Service, which brought all of them under and established AmeriCorps. Until a couple of years ago, we referred to CNCS for a lot of things, the Corporation for National Community Service. In 2020, 2021, they rebranded so that everything became AmeriCorps. They also introduced this new logo at that same time, so this is a new logo that folks made. There are, of course, other service programs, which I'll talk about, I believe, on a next slide. Are the RSVP Retired Senior Volunteer Program, Learn and Serve, Silver Service, AmeriCorps Senior or Senior Corps. And then in 2009, the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act envisioned significant growth in national service and impact. It tried to encourage greater numbers of people to serve, basically like did some significant retweaks and attempted to make service more accessible for everyone. The American Rescue Plan Act in March of 2021 included $620 million for AmeriCorps state and national programs, which is us, to, among other priorities, increase members' living stipends. We'll talk about living stipends in a bit. So there's been a long history. Just know that there's various forms of national service, and our program is one of them, really. There are a variety of types of AmeriCorps programs, as previously referred to. I talked about Vista already. I talked about the NCCC, 18 to 24. State and AmeriCorps, there's also AmeriCorps seniors, things like foster grandparents, the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, Senior Companions Program, formerly Senior Corps. Honestly, as local history organizations, you might want to look into your local AmeriCorps senior folks, because for sources of like one-off volunteers. You have an event coming up, you need volunteers. Senior Corps may indeed be interested in that. Um, so that retired senior volunteer is one offer. And then there's the AmeriCorps state and national programs. These programs can have a variety of goals. We are a state. We are a AmeriCorps state program, um, funded, which so the national programs tend to be larger and have members in multiple states, and then um, there's our program, which is a state program that is funded through. Next slide. Serve Ohio. So Serve Ohio is one of the other legs of support of the program. Serve Ohio is Ohio's Commission on Service and Volunteerism. They get dollars from the federal AmeriCorps folks, and then they grant them out to those of us who run the programs. There are like 27, approximately 27 AmeriCorps programs in Ohio, of which we are one. There's the other there are other cores with other focus areas um, out around the state. So I can talk about a little bit about some of who some of those are, but um, and then there's the Ohio History Connection, where I work. Our mission, which is just we have to do the mission to spark discovery of Ohio's stories, embrace the present, share the past, and transform the future. And one of the big ways that we do this out around the state is the Ohio History Service Corps AmeriCorps program. As part of our mission to support local history organizations, help them share their past. We can't do all of Ohio's past all by ourselves. Um, so um, that we bring in AmeriCorps members every year to make sure that we have a presence out around the state and to help fulfill that mission. The members work primarily with two divisions within the Ohio History Connection. The Outreach Division, which is where I am based. Um, The Outreach Division is made up of two departments, Community Engagement and School and Teacher Support. Community Engagement is the department that runs the Ohio History, wait, no. The Community Engagement is the department that runs the Historical Markers Program, of which many of you may be familiar. That's literally the office is on the other side of these bookshelves behind me. We also provide support for our statewide partner organizations, most notably the Ohio Local History Alliance. Um, we also engage with our near neighbors at the Ohio History Center, as well as New Americans and other groups out around the state. The School and Teacher Support Department, the other department in the Outreach Division, provides the Ohio is America online curriculum and runs Ohio History Day, a program which you may be familiar with, kind of like a science fair, but for history. Regional contests are coming up in the spring. They would love to have judges. Just brief plug. Our members also work, particularly the community surveyor that I mentioned, work with the Ohio Historic Preservation a lot, Ohio Historic Preservation Office a lot. The Ohio Historic Preservation Office houses the Ohio History Fund grant, of which you may be aware, as well as Section 106 reviews, and they do building doctor workshops and administers the National Register of Historic Places. So they work, as local history members need those resources or have questions about those things, they also may interact with the State Historic Preservation Office. I should say, at any point, please put a question or into the chat and or the Q&A for us, and we will see if there's any. I feel like I'm rolling through, and I am kind of rolling through, but if there's things that you're like, have questions as I go, please. So, Ohio History Service Corps, our members are capacity builders who connect organizations to each other and resources, ideally provide tools for continued success and sustainability, et cetera, et cetera. I've already talked about the two member roles, and you will meet them individually a little bit later in the program. This year we started with 10 members. Right now we have 8 out around the state. the community survey at the city of Cincinnati. We have Emily at Bowling Green State University. We have Erin Hartzell at the First Ladies Library and Museum, and Erin couldn't make it. Today we have John at the Lorraine Historical Society. We have Aaron Delleman, because two Aarons, at the National Afro-American Museum and Cultural Center, Chan Harris at the Southeast Ohio History Center, Elizabeth Coleman at the University of Cincinnati, and Jason Long at Youngstown State. You will meet them. It occurs to me that this would have been a perfect moment to have you all introduce yourselves, but I feel like I should have rearranged this PowerPoint a little bit. Okay. So the community surveyors, we asked them to add 100 properties to the Ohio Historic Inventory and complete 10 National Register questionnaires on properties in their area. The local history members, as previously talked about, provide capacity building support. They focus on, or they make use of the STEPS workbook through the American Association for State and Local History, Standards and Excellence Program for History Organizations. STEPS is a program that lets local history organizations self-evaluate and kind of see how they're doing against a set of best practices. We like to use STEPS because it's really designed for small history organizations. It's designed to be a self-study sort of thing that the members can help folks through. It aligns with the American Alliance of Museums standards for accreditation. So if someone was interested in accreditation, steps can be a good first step there, but it can also really be helpful to the smaller organizations who would never who for whom that is not a goal, but would still like to know that they're stewarding their resources as best as they can. Ideally, local history members spend about half of their time with their host site. So the places that I just listed where they are, that's their host site. We also ask them to spend about half their time with outreach sites or working with other sites out around their region. And I'm hoping that this introduction will connect some of you with the members in your region. Projects have included a bunch of stuff. Disaster strategic planning, exhibit and helping folks with a wide variety of things. Rather than reading this list, I should probably talk about some of those things. It's quite common for members to do things like build a website and then create a, a manual that lets people then continue to maintain that website. We do a lot of collections inventory projects. I know a couple of the members are like, a lot of inventory projects. So that, again, as I mentioned, so that you know what you have and where it is, so you can start building on that. Members have done a lot of helps folks with oral history projects, getting started with all sorts of digitization projects. I think we've had folks work with. The motto here in general is we try to go for an I do, we do, you do structure. So like the member will do a thing, the member will do a thing with you. And then the goal is eventually you're able to do that thing on your own with the framework that the member has put together for you. Or, they've left you with that inventory and you can carry on yourselves. So it's is the goal really. It's the I do, we do, you do. Members help with recruiting of volunteers and help train them for projects. We've had members so helping folks get connected with volunteers and then train those volunteers for a specific project so that can then carry on even when the member's not there. So yes. So briefly, what's in it for the members? They do get a living allowance, and if successfully finished completing their year, an education award. They can put their loans, if any, into forbearance while serving, and successful completion of the program, AmeriCorps will pay off the accumulated interest during their service term. We also provide them with, of course, if they drive out to your site and to say hi and do a project with you, we reimburse their mileage. That's kind of a like everybody. And then of course there's training, conferences, workshops and webinars, self-selected training, that sort of thing. Yes. So they do. This is probably as yes, I should say. One of the reasons that we emphasize so much the like then members, AmeriCorps members setting you up to be successful going forward is that they do serve for a year. The AmeriCorps each member starts in mid-September of any given year and serves through the following August, if all goes well and and as expected. Um, Folks can serve for 2 years. We so they can re-up, so to speak, for a second term. But it is a 1 or a 2 year commitment. So this is one of the reasons that we really do emphasize the like making sure that you can carry on with whatever project they've helped you with after their departure because they're it's a because. All right, learning more. Check out the program website, ohiohistory.org/AmeriCorps. I'm going to put a www in it, although marketing hates when I do that, in the chat. I will say that applications to host an AmeriCorps member are, for the coming service year, are open and posted on the website. So if you're interested in being a host site, all of the information is there. Those are because it's a grant timeline sort of thing. Those are due March 10th in order to host an AmeriCorps member starting in mid-September of 2025. You can also go ahead and email me directly. AmeriCorps at ohiohistory.org will reach me. You can always have those, or we can do questions here. But I think before we do questions, I'm going to go back. And I'm going to I'm going to go back to this slide where it would have been great to have the members introduce themselves and have the members introduce themselves. And I'm going to go down the list alphabetically and we'll see, or not alphabetically. I'm going to go down the list in the order that they're on the screen, just so you know when you're coming up, which means we will start with Emily.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hi, my name is Emily Kay. I am the local history member for Region 1 in Northwest Ohio. I am based out of, my host site is Bowling Green State University. And I don't know what else I'm supposed to say in my introduction. I got my graduate degree in history from Bowling Green State University as well. So yeah.
Thank you. Yes. And I know that we're particularly excited to have someone in Northwest Ohio. It's been a while. So I know that y'all aren't necessarily used to having an AmeriCorps member up there, but please reach out to Emily. She would love to, much as she loves scanning things in the archives, she would love to get out and see some of your place. And Erin, the National First Ladies Library and Museum, which is next. Erin Hartzell was not able to be here because of a conflicting meeting. But Erin is planning to follow up. I have shared the attendee list with the members, and they may indeed follow up with you if you are in their region. So Erin Hartzell at the National First Ladies Library and Museum does plan on following up with those of you here from Region 5 and possibly adjacent. So the main project she's working on Erin Hartzell at the National First Ladies Library and Museum. The main project she's working on at her host site involve helping to transfer the entire collection database over to Catalog It, a cloud-based collections management system, which will hopefully be accessible to the public in the very near future. She's also helping with Ohio History Day in Region 5, which will be held on March 1st at the First Ladies Library. And then finally, she's assisting with a few upcoming exhibits at the site, including a traveling exhibit on Ohio's First Ladies to help celebrate America's 250th anniversary. Some of you may have already been in touch with Erin in terms of the traveling for that traveling exhibit. While I am working with more collections and exhibitions during my service, she says, I have also worked as a park ranger at Cuyahoga Valley National Park and Appomattox Courthouse National Historical Park. So if you're interested in interpretation, Erin can help out with that if there's exhibits or public programmings that you're looking to do. So yes, catalog it. I know that. Okay, that was Erin. She intends to follow up with you. Lorraine Historical Society. John, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can
Hi.
you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So my name is John Clement. I am the at Lorraine Historical Society. I am the local history member for Region 3. This is my second year in the History Service Corps. Some things that I helped out with last year was a lot of it was collections related, so crafting a new CMP, doing helping with an inventory project, helping to write an inventory project manual. I have a background in public history, and I have experience as well with volunteerism. Um, so I have a decent enough variety of skills, I think. And if I don't know something, I'll have no problem looking it up and helping out in any way I can.
Thank you. That is a great point. One of the things that our members can do, because literally one of the things that they have to do during their service is do professional development time and training. That thing where, where in order to figure out what you need to do, you have to like watch two webinars and read an article, and you don't have time for that. Very often they do, and can like do that kind of, if they don't have an answer for you right on the spot, and they may not, they can figure it out. They can find out and come back to you. So, all right. Aaron from National Afro-American Museum and Cultural Center. Can't tell if Aaron is here. Looks like Aaron is not able to join us. Aaron, I believe, and I've lost track. So I have not, but so Aaron at the National Afro-American Museum and Cultural Center is doing a wide variety of things with them. Um, I believe she has also done inventory projects for host for some of her outreach sites. Um, she interned at AfroAm prior to joining them as their AmeriCorps member. I'm sorry, I am not prepared um, to go into more detail, but if you are in the region and you are interested, please do feel free to reach out to Erin. All of the members' contact information is on the website at ohiohistory.org/AmeriCorps. It looks like we all. Oh, Chan. Chan is here. Never mind. So Southeast Ohio History Center, Chan.
Hey y'all, my name's Chan. Down at the Southeast Ohio History Center in Athens. Um, yeah, I graduated with my bachelor's in history here at Athens. I have some prior experience in collections, some prior experience in the public history area. Yeah, having after starting this position, I've gotten experience in a billion different things. I'm sure, like many of the folks on here. So yeah, I would say there's probably nothing that we can't look into for you. There's nothing that we can't do for you. Just got to let us know what you need and just get in touch with us.
Thank you, Chan. Well said. All right. Elizabeth, the University of
Hi,
Center.
everyone. Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
Center for the City at the University of Cincinnati. I went like,
Yeah, so I'm Elizabeth. As Betsy said, this is my first year serving as a local history member at the Center for the City at the University of Cincinnati. I'm originally from Cincinnati, but I spent the last 4 years living abroad in Edinburgh, where I earned my undergraduate degree in archaeology. During that time, my interests were mostly focused on environmental archaeology, GIS, public archaeology. Given that I have a particular interest in helping support any historic cemeteries in any archaeological based projects. But obviously, I'm available to help anyone in Region 8 with anything they need. Uh, a sample of projects I've assisted with this year include collections inventories, designing exhibitions and interpretive signage, and volunteer recruitment. So please be in touch.
thank you. All right. And at Youngstown State, we have Jason Long.
Hi, folks. So my name is Jason. I am, as Betsy said, at Youngstown State University here in Region 4. So here at my host site, the bulk of what I've been working on has been History Day related. So I made a informational and promotional website for our hosting of History Day in Region 4. And I'm also working with the Youngstown Historical Center for Industry and Labor, which is on campus here, working on an oral history project there. And then outreach stuff that I've been working on has been mainly collections in nature, doing lots of inventories, writing inventory manuals, collections management policies, things of that nature. But looking to get more into interpretation in this upcoming quarter with some of my sites. So if that is something that anybody needs in Region 4, you can reach out to me.
Thank you, Jason. And I'm going to go back because I see that Erin Dellerman is in fact here, and I didn't give her long enough to unmute and talk about herself.
Hi, I kept getting kicked off, so I'm
Oh,
now, and my camera's working now. So I'm Erin Dellerman. I am in Region 7 at the National Afro-American Museum and Cultural Center. Here at my host site, I have been doing a lot of different things. I've been helping with the archives and collection care. I've been doing inventory and cataloging objects and researching for a cool project. At my outreach, I've done a lot of inventory as well. I'm also beginning to help with an exhibit, so I'm just figuring out Adobe Illustrator so I can figure all of that out. And what else have I been doing? I guess that's about it.
and you're learning Canva so that you can teach other people about it at the upcoming regional meeting. So,
Right.
all right, let's see. I can stop sharing my screen. All right, so that was what we had. Do folks have questions for the members or for me? Before we go ahead and all right. All right. Well, thank you again for coming. Is there anything else that y'all as members would like to say? Thanks, Kate. Thanks for organizing this, Kate. This was your this. um, all right. Yes. I see that we have a question. I will pause. Would you like to ask it live? I think I can let you do that. Or is typing fine? Ah, what region you are in? That is a good question. So we are based on the Ohio Local History Alliance slash Ohio History Day regions, which are the same set of regions. 1 second. Let me find you the link for that. And they are not necessarily bound within the boundaries of those regions. Folks can go outside of their region. It just gives us a way to like organize the state, right? I'm sorry, it's taking me a minute to pull up the correct website. But it is what will also work. So while I wait for the website to kind of like crunch through some things, on our website at ohiohistory.org/AmeriCorps, there is a map which shows where everyone is. So like you can look at what may be easier versus trying to figure out all the rather than trying to figure out the OLA regions, which only really makes sense. It may be easiest to come to our website and just look at the map to see who is closest. So we have the map with the pins, I don't know why the pin for Lorraine is in the middle of Lake Erie, but that's just a vagary of a thing that happens there. And then as you scroll down, you have each member and where they are. So oh yeah, that's true. That doesn't help you that much if you don't know that the pin that's here is that's in Bowling Green is Emily for Region 1, but it does tell you where each one is. Let's see. Here we go. Ohio Local History Alliance. Um, so these are the 10 regions. Akron is technically in Region 3, but I believe that Erin Hartzell at First Ladies Library in Canton has also been working with some folks in Akron. So technically it's John. So you could reach out to either John or Erin. Um, Technically it would be John, however, in Region 3. So for Akron. I know this is the thing about the regions being kind of notional is because there's very few situations in which any kind of line gets drawn between Akron and Canton where they're not like the Akron Canton area. But these are the regions to which we refer. Sorry, it took me a while to pull that up. And as I say, members do go outside of their regions. For instance, I see the Wyandotte County. Hi, Ron. So like if Wyandotte County Historical Society was interested in working with someone, I'd probably refer you to Emily at Bowling Green. We don't have anyone in Region 2 this year or in Region 6. Chan down in Athens has been doing some work with both the Alliance Region 10 and a little into Region 6. So that sort of thing. Thank you. That is a good point. I live with these regions so much that I forgot. Not everyone knows where they are. Yes. Yeah, we do. In fact, thank you, Kate. That we do with all the the Ohio History Service Corps members will be attending the regional meeting in their region, is the plan, or like Erin presenting at that. I should also say for the Ohio Local History Alliance, regional meeting registration is open on the website. The brochure is at the printer as we speak, and may have mailed, will mail soon, unsure, but it is on the website. So check out the regional meetings. You can start registering for those at any point. Other questions? Anything else anyone would like to ask? All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the members for coming. Thank you to you for coming and learning more about the program. Please feel free to follow up with us with questions. It's all the stuff is at ohiohistory.org/AmeriCorps. All right. Thank you so much. Have lovely evenings, everybody.